Hello, Americans, YouTubers. I was shot at by with a pellet gun the day before the president was shot. And now these are people involved with Secret Service and former director of the FBI, Robert Luskin, his co-defendants and their family members and their educators, sticking predicate acts of facts with names at and next to each of the campuses I went to, is also recorded involved with it. And their roles with their extended family members and with people with other last names with the same shared family members named Scalora. Weathersfield Police and other police departments have been forging and switching names of people named Scalora. A bunch of people tied to the name Scalora. I don't know them at all. They've been influenced to pretend other by foreign and domestic intelligence. A bunch of people named DeMoro have foreign and domestic medical families involved with proven years apart for sexual medical offenders of leaders of kids first. And the ones involved with the 1 years apart, I caught them forcing the principal child abuser who was arrested off campus anyway. I caught them with that first, forcing that, and with retired police chiefs. Retired police chief Cintron and 1 years ago with the same house, 80 Carriage Hill Drive, as one of the ones involved with the name Ray Colo. But there's more than one Ray Colo involved in his father. But his father's the one that took a shot at me. And he has roles with other in the comments with people with the name Ray Colo and Joshua Julian. Joshua Julian's also one of the ones on the Facebook page of Highcrest campus, also with more sexual and medical offenders of people and people putting fake ties, fake natures of ties to me when I caught them using the school and the names next to them, what they've been using them for. Whiting Forensics increasingly has foreign and domestic intelligence and navies and through administrations, collusions with all kinds of organized crimes and faked evidences into databases, as collusions with all kinds of crime scenes and relative body dumping spots. Increasingly, people with West Farms Mall and the East Hartford Mall and the shopping centers have collusions with people named Tomorrow and Colo and their educators, including with foreign and domestic military, with my grammar school, with body dumping spots increasingly tied to that school and those names since before they came to my school and put fake ties, fake natures of ties to me, with people from other classes I never even saw around the campus. And when there was they tried to make a fight with me with the Joe DeMoro, and then in other words, it was like staged. You could tell he was acting. That's why he didn't want to fight after. And then the girl who walked by too. That's one of the ones. Apparently, who she married, or a neighbor of that house. People with the name Perone has a whole bunch of people tied to them involved with identity theft, fraud, slanders. Sought me out to pretend to know me, have people take a picture to make other with people I don't even know his girlfriend's name. Involved with the corners of the streets, but at the corner of Town Line Drive and Southstein Highway. People with the name Corone, Kerr, and Corone. Also Kner, with a bunch of people named Kerr too at Central at the Bryn Superior Court, has a bunch of sexual and medical offenders of kids in sexual circles, like half gay sexual circles. And one of the ones with name Kerr, Kner or Kerr, made a rape threat. And that's one of the ones with the sexual circles where they share girlfriends and made confessions and demonstrations to me when they were together. And like to make it while they're making a fake exception of knowing me. In other words, pretending they don't even know me. I just made confessions to me. I was really quickly in their presence. And then, in other words, then they're pretending behind my back. That's why they put Ray Colo, Joe DeMoro, and Heather Hansen in a summer school class with me, with a Mr. Neville. A Mr. Neville has a bunch of people with Vermont involved with intelligence agencies, with people on off the state of Connecticut corrections offices and judicial branch offices, increasingly involved with the World Trade Center predicate acts, with the name who took a shot at me. Involved also with a Phil Colo, further involved with some sexual and medical offenders of kids, involved with New Britain Superior Court and Whiting Forensics, and Connecticut's and Sandy Hook campuses has more sexual and medical offenders involved with a Phil Colo Get them on paper, one name and sequence, including with the people with the name Kerr too, and O'Brien. O'Brien is also involved in the name Ray. I don't know if they were saying Ray or O'Brien or Ray Clow and Ray and Tim O'Brien, because they also have roles with foreign and domestic military and Navy, like Mexican Navy and American Navy with Whiting Forensics, also with former mayors involved through time with them with all kinds of natures of organized crimes, interstates, and with this, a whole bunch of people next to Harvard Hospital and next to campuses, intercities are connected to the ones next to Harvard Hospital as time collusions with overt criminal enterprises and private ones. Increasingly, people tied to Jonathan Maiano and his educators are involved with sequence shifts and the security with the campuses involved with medical corruption and putting fake things in databases. Also with prosecutors and judges and victims advocates involved with child abusers, identity theft, fraud, slander, sequence shifts, World Trade Center predicate acts, and with WFSB, Channel 3 News, attached me to fake conversations with themselves and others. They're also involved with the people who've been putting comments in my YouTube channel that have connections between each other. Eric Jensen has roles with them, and Anthony Yagman, Joshua Julian, including a story I did with that corner, something with a whole bunch of people, I don't know the names of them, tied to the corner of Walcott Hill and Route 175 and other corners on that street are people that planted evidences at more than one corner by acting for others to take a picture and they make a fake nature tie to me. And they pretend both sides of fights or anything like that to make, in other words, lie about what came first, but fake ties, fake nature ties to people. That's increasingly people tied to child abusers, leaders of kids, and more being forced. But that wouldn't be. They would be good people and they would stay good people instead of staying evil if you would get them to stop repeating fake things and trying to lean on fake things that have been faked into the databases. They've been calling attacks on the campuses because they've been preventing peaceful means to undo what they've been using the names next to the campuses for all kinds of identity theft, fraud, slanders, and sequence shifts, put it in federal crimes where people are constantly communicating other than the pretending at locations and online because they have collusions with all sides of criminal and civil cases and the court's names and the news at the same time, and way worse, at the same time, juxtaposed, put in the same sequence shifts, the same delusions, self-value, the same criminally foreign influence, tactically delusions, raw, fact, human nature, quality aspects in nature that can't be defended and afforded to be discerned. What even rich trials are about, let alone witch trials and all the things that were simultaneous. So we could answer what they're about, even if they were completely made up. They're about a human fact, human nature breaching method. So I was shot at the day before the president was shot. And there are a bunch of people with the Secret Service with Central Connecticut State University in New Britain, Connecticut, and people with Marines on. I don't know all the Marines. The ones in Newington, and there's a guy reportedly was a roommate of Ray Clow in Newington, Connecticut. A bunch of people from Newington, Connecticut, involved with that golf course, and the coaches from Weathersfield, repeating fake things about me, like with this John Maiano and the FBI director, and a coach Hagenbar is involved increasingly with people with identity theft, fraud, slander, and the former Mayor Gold and his kids and people tied to them, involved with the work criminal enterprises, private ones, all kinds of repeated people bringing them up, and other mayors at the same time with body dumping spots increasingly that were brought up at the same time with the murders and other things intercities. You guys aren't allowing what's actually recorded to be discerned on a mass scale. This breaching method knew you would have a bunch of fakes, forcing even the like how and why the interbranch are fake. You guys are forcing it. They're going to speak about jobs because you guys keep allowing people to opinions about jobs when all those people are stacked in New York City. They're going to walk down and go to what job? What's that? That job is going to cost them more than it's worth to go there. You guys have all kinds of scams with the programs, and you have criminally foreign influence, tactical delusions, raw campuses, A through Z. Here, Anthony. Get them on paper. They have more people involved with knife threats and bug spray and planted evidences on all sides of my house. Also with the people tied to the educators of the people named Cologne and the Smiths and the police starting fights between people. Get them on paper, one name in sequence with the court still lying about their motivations. They're starting fights. Get them on paper. Please get them on paper. Make sure the president, you don't hide this from them. Because I'll tell you something. You've been hiding things from presidents and worse. You put fake transcripts in databases, dear God. Harvard Hospital, don't hide this. There's more violence coming. You make sure I get a response on paper. You tell them.